at 3. 3 at 3 every business day. We bring you unusual option activity as defined by us and our algorithms. We have a whole bunch of registered marks, patents, trademarks, all that on what you're about to see. So please ask us before you reproduce it. But let's get started, and we'll talk more about the heat seeker itself as we go through it. Our disclaimer is that what I'm presenting right now is for educational and informational purposes only, full stop. I already described our intellectual property rights. Please ask us before you reproduce anything that you're about to see in this presentation. And thank you. Intel. Well, yeah, we had some strong buying in Intel, and I think it was Pete yesterday, I believe, that was talking about this one on the halftime, but I'm not positive of that. But I do know that, as you see here, it was on our site. So our subscribers saw it when the stock was 62.07. They bought 1 million share equivalent. Who's the they? Well, I don't know. We never really know until after the fact sometimes, because sometimes after the fact, it'll turn out that a big name person like Carl Icahn or Ackman or Loeb was buying derivatives, and they may or may not be the very derivatives that we saw on the screen. Many of those traders that I just described buy over the counter because they trade so large. So they go to somebody like typically Credit Suisse or Deutsche Bank or Goldman, say they'd like an over-the-counter call. Then Goldman, Deutsche Bank, Credit Suisse, comes in to hedge their exposure, because the last thing they want to do is really take the other side of Carl's bet. And again, there are hundreds of other fund managers. I just happen to name 2. I don't know if any of them are involved with any of the stocks that I'm about to describe. But when I say they, I mean somebody big. Who's buying 1 million share equivalent of Intel? Exactly. Probably a hedge fund. Very unlikely that it's a regular retail investor. So they bought the end of April calls at the 66 strike with the stock at 62. I bought the 62s and sold the 66s. Why? Oh, is it because John's fading his own call? No. It's because I always want to move the odds into my favor. I hope you choose to move them into your favor, the odds, that is, into your favor. But if you just want to buy the 66 calls, nothing in the world wrong with that. Just be aware you're buying an out-of-the-money call. You've got a month to be right. Great. I'm buying an at-the-money call, sold an out-of-the-money call against it, and I get time decay neutralized to the best of my ability by doing that. Now, you never take it to zero, but you neutralize it as best you can by selling one option for every option that you own. That's my modus operandi. So let's see how this trade worked out. Well, as you see here on what I highlighted, the stock was up $1.87. The highlighted area on the bottom, the yellow, that was the high of the day, 64.12. So in other words, it's already had a $2 move. So if you had 1,000 shares of a $62,000 investment, because 1,000 shares at 62 would be 62 grand, congratulations, you made $2,000. Nothing to sneeze at. You made $2,000 on a $62,000 investment. I, on the other hand, haven't exactly doubled my option. And by the way, 2 divided by 62 would be 3% return. So what have I done? Well, mine is up better than 60%. So I'm 20 times the amount that a stock investor is up in this same trade. So that's why we trade options, folks. Now, I'm not out of it, still in Intel, although if the tech sector, tech wreck, continued, I might decide to dump out, but I really like the new CEO and what he is doing, so I'm willing to ride it. Bitcoin, is it the money of the future? I just kind of liked the video that this was in, so I grabbed it, did a screenshot, threw it up here. Is it the money of the future? Well, maybe, but for my money, Bitcoin isn't a currency as much as it is an asset, and assets gather their value by their scarcity. So find me something that globally people want, because they do want Bitcoin, and that there can only be 21 million of, And I'll tell you, prices tend to gravitate higher for such a situation. That's what I'm counting on, and that's why I'm a Bitcoin believer. These other two guys are Bitcoin believers too. Why? Because the top guys, CJ and Matt Montemayor, these two guys were miners in college. They stripped out their room, loaded it up with mining rigs, and had been mining Bitcoin 6 years ago. Now they are the guys that moderate our cryptocurrency trading room. And you can check that out for $1 a month. $1 for your first month to decide whether or not there's value there. And if there is, it's only $29 a month after that. Thousands of people have signed up, and I'd like to pat our guys on the back for this. 94% retention rate for the people that pay $1 and decide to stick around. It is worth it, and I encourage you to check it out. You just go to marketrebellion.com/trycrypto to check it out. Fresh meat right now, today, TME. What is this? This is Tencent Media. Tencent and a whole bunch of Chinese stocks are getting walloped. And when you see the chart on this, you'll know what I mean. Walloped as in this was a $31 stock. Now it's half of that, $17. They come in and they buy 11,000 April 17 calls. Now, next Friday is the first Friday in April, okay? It is, in fact, next Thursday, because we don't trade on Friday. I keep forgetting it's Good Friday. It's a holiday. So the third Friday in April is when these calls expire. So in other words, 3 weeks from today. That's rapid time decay. But look, somebody bought a million share equivalent, 1.1 million share equivalent of these calls at the money, 17 strike. There it is, 1732. Look at that turnover. Those are the folks that are afraid and have been panicked out because of the potential delisting in America of Chinese equities. Now, this isn't Mr. Trump's doing. This is a new administration, so you have to decide how you want to weigh the odds of this actually happening. But 15 million shares is the average volume. Look at it today, 238 million shares. That's an awful lot, folks. It's a big company, $29 billion company that's lost half of its value nearly in the last 4 days. That is noteworthy. So I like the odds of this one rebounding back. Maybe it doesn't go back to 20 even, but if this one moves from 17 to 19, I'll double my money. Anyway, you decide how to spend your money. I'll decide how to spend mine. Bill Falkenstein. Here's a guy that has been all over precious metals for years. Fleck, as he's known to friends, and I'd like to say I'm a friend of his, reached out to us, said he had some great insights into both silver and gold and wanted to talk about them. We said we would be delighted to host you again for our roundtable. He is a very affable and extremely knowledgeable guy. I encourage you to sign up for free. You can sign up today. It's Monday. It's going to be Monday, 4 p.m. at the close, Eastern Time. I encourage you to sign up now before the room fills up. We've already had 6,000 people sign up. We are likely to get against our 10,000 person limit. If we have to, we'll extend it. We'll go out and rent some more bandwidth. But make sure if you're somebody who's been looking at precious metals, this is a guy you want to listen to. This is a guy who's been right and who does a fabulous job managing money. I can't say enough good things about Bill, and I hope you'll join us on Monday, 4 p.m. with Bill Falkenstein. ATVI. So video games, yeah, the one that gets all the news is the place that doesn't make any. These guys make video games, but GameStop is the one that doesn't make any, but just kind of is the middleman. And they're trying to go online and make that happen, and let's see if that works. I mean, I know it works, but let's see if they can actually get rid of the bricks and mortar stores or reduce them substantially, because, you know, that's a hell of a lot of overhead. And I don't think it justifies the price GameStop is at. But I trade GameStop. I don't own GameStop. Back to ATVI, Activision. Bullish call buying. Stock's 91 bucks. They're buying the April 91 calls that expire next Thursday. So be aware of that. You'll have 4 trading days next week, 4, to see whether or not this is a money-making trade for you. They bought 2,200. They've bought a lot more since then. Watch it. There is the stock, 91.31. Remember, they're buying the 91 calls that expire next week. Got to be nimble. This one averages a nice chunk of volume too. So if we see any of that, you look at the 52-week high, 104. Could it push to 95? If it did, those calls are worth $4 plus some premium. Let's see. I'm in the calls. I have sold upside calls against them. Bang. And a big thank you for everybody that really surged into the YouTube site. That is our YouTube site that you see there. If you go to youtube.com and you type in Market Rebellion, as I have done in that search bar there, you will see all of our videos. They are all free. Pete's The Take, my workout video, my 3 at 3, our podcasts, all of it is on that site. Go check it out. Tell a friend about it. It costs you nothing, and yet you can get all of those thousands of videos. Go through them at your leisure. I think you'll be a better investor when you follow along what we're talking about as far as market moving events, as far as unusual option activity, and so forth. Check it out, including that daily crypto bite with those crypto guys I showed you, Matt and CJ, just moments ago. Market Rebellion on the YouTube site. Chewy. All right. So with Chewy at 78.75, call it 79 bucks. They come in to buy the April 75 puts. 3 weeks into the future, those puts expire. 3 weeks from today, those puts expire. They're buying an out-of-the-money put. I tend to buy at the money and sell out of the money. So be aware of that. There's Chewy breaking down $1 from that last, from when they bought those puts. A lot closer to 75 now, but still $2.89 above that strike. So you got to decide how to trade it if you want to trade it. Look at that range, folks, 31 bucks to 120 a share. That's a big range. We are more or less in the middle of that range. And I'd say keep an eye on this one. The co-founder of Chewy, of course, is actively involved in GameStop right now. Let's see if Chewy has taken their eye off the ball at all here. I don't think they have, but I think people are nervous, and that's why they're buying those puts. Bang. Seize control of your financial destiny? Yes, I would always encourage you to do that. One of the ways you could do that is to go to Market Rebellion and type in Get Started. marketrebellion.com/get started. We have coaches, we have mentors, we have distance learning, which means that you can go online and get these great videos and all of our content for various modules, whether it's basic options, intermediate, advanced options, same thing for crypto, same thing for stock and charting. We've got it all at marketrebellion.com. Go check it out. I think you'll thank me for it. Here's some questions that you've directed to me at Jon Najarian and at 3@3_UOA. Tech. I'm in several technology names, and tech has been underperforming due to the rotation trade. How much longer do you anticipate this will play out? And that comes our way of Aaron Jung 3, AARONJUNG 3. Aaron, it could play out for several more months. And then it just depends where interest rates are. But what I am doing is aggressively writing at the money calls against most of my tech stocks. That includes Apple. If I saw a lot more upside than where we are, I would be writing more out of the money. So I'm writing at the money so I get a little more protection to the downside, insulation protection to the downside, and I get more premium. I like that, especially in a sideways market that maybe we see for another month or two in tech. I don't have that crystal ball, to tell you when it will end or how it will end as far as the rotation from one to the other and switching back and forth. But thanks for the question, Aaron. Yeezys. Kanye's Yeezy foam runners. And there's my buddy Andrew typing Yeezy with an A. It doesn't have an A, Andrew. It's Y-E-E-Z-Y. But anyway, Yeezy's foam runners. Will you buy a pair for your morning run? No, for several reasons. Number one, that's the ugliest thing I've ever seen. As far as a shoe goes, a brand new shoe, that's one of the ugliest things I've ever seen. Two, even though I love you, Kanye. Two, it looks too much like a Croc to run in or walk in. So no, I'm not going to be buying those. And three, too expensive. Whoops, and who asked us that? That was from Coin Boost Inc., COINBOOSTINC. Thank you, Coin Boost. Chris Olia, and his handle happens to be on Twitter at HIPPIEDOO. Hippie do, which I guess what I got, a hippie do. Anyway, Chris, thank you for your question. Chris's question is, that's a lot of money for a pair of Crocs. Exact same response. Yes, it's a lot of money. Number one, too expensive. Number two, looks like Crocs. Number three, it's ugly. And you know what that means? That means that Yeezy will probably kill it. And I hope you do, Kanye. I hope you kill it with this one. But those are not going to be on my feet. Not for those dollars, my friend. TGT, Target. Target, back to near all-time highs. Why is no one talking about it, John and Pete? And this comes our way from at JACOBMAUNEY. Why is nobody talking about it? I don't know. I think sometimes the judge gets sick of talking about it because Pete always sounds like such a homer picking all these Minnesota companies. But there are a bunch of great companies up there in Minnesota. This is certainly one of them, the former Dayton Hudson, now known as Target. We've had unusual activity, but not in the last couple weeks. I'm still in it. Love this stock. You may have heard me say that I sold out of Walmart, not because I don't believe in it, but I like this one better. Bang. Semis. Blake Jumper, and that's his handle, BLAKEJUMPER, says, John, was wondering your thoughts on the semiconductors. I see that Taiwan Semi, TSM, 20-day simple moving average has moved below the 50-day SMA. Is it a good time to increase my TSM position? We're probably very close. And when I'm close, one of the things I like to do is sell a put or a put spread, because that way I'm not just saying, oh yeah, I like it, but I like it $5 lower. I like the idea of selling that out of the money put. If I'm right, I get to keep the money because that put expires worthless. And it kind of puts my feet to the fire as far as I'm not just watching it anymore, I'm in it. That's it for today, folks. Thank you for joining me. I hope you have a safe, happy weekend. I'm going to be enjoying some snow out in Wyoming and Utah. And I hope wherever you are, it's sunny and nice. And I hope you join us back here Monday. Bang. See you then.